welcome to episode 2 of In Case You Want to Take Notes. I'm Kristen, RKB.
I'm Britt.
Hi, Britt. And we have a super exciting episode.
An unexpected episode. This was not on our roster.
bingo card for 2025, I guess.
No.
And even then, it's not like, even though I have been in this experience by proxy, I'm so excited that we can bring this episode to the people.
Yeah, I'm so sad that you went there.
I know, but you know
my KB safety blanket was busy that day. So I went and did this interview all by my lonesome.
This interview with original Yellow Wiggle, Greg Page, who is currently starring as FDR in the National Australian Tour of Annie the Musical.
Yes.
Which will be coming to Brisbane from the 27th of December at the Lyric Theatre at QPAC.
And I think they only run 6 weeks.
And tickets, the final tickets have been released now. I don't think they're extending any further. Well, they might. Tickets start from $70 with a $7.50 transaction fee. For those of you playing at home, we do like to give you the full rundown.
We do.
Because we like to find shows for everybody's budget.
Yes. And like highlights of Annie will be 1, Greg Page.
Yes.
But 2, the kids from Annie will be Brisbane children.
Yeah.
Which we're really excited about because it just showcase some of our Brisbane kids.
Yeah.
Go get some tickets. It will be awesome.
And if you need some more motivation to see the show, then just, I don't know, stay with us in your ears for a little bit longer and listen to the amazing Greg Page chat all things theatre, music, Annie.
He's lovely. Have a great time listening to the podcast. I'm very awkward and in awe throughout.
Why wouldn't you be? Both of those things.
He's amazing and lovely and warm-hearted and very, very, very tall. Enjoy.
Hi friends, it's Britt. Just with a little note about this episode. In my interview with Greg Page, I stated that QPAC has 3 theatres that are interconnected, and it's actually 4. Soon to be 5 once the glasshouse is complete. But now that we've cleared that up, please enjoy the interview.
Hi friends, today on Take Notes we have a very special guest, one that I'm a little bit in awe of, so bear with me as I read his intro. Few performers have logged as much stage time as our guest today, nor had such a wide-spanning career. He has studied early childhood education, amassed an Elvis memorabilia collection that is counted as one of the top 4 largest collections in the world currently.
It was. Probably not anymore, but that's...
He is a heart health ambassador with his foundation Heart of the Nation. He has performed with some incredible names such as Kylie Minogue, the TCB Band, David Hobson, Leo Sayer, Christine Anu, and of course, we are in Queensland, the Irwin family. His likeness has graced almost every product imaginable. He has worn a lot of yellow and spent many hours behind the wheel of a big red car as a founding member of the Wiggles and the voice of many generations. Our guest today is the one and only Greg Page. I was very tempted to put magician in there.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, it's fine. It got too wordy, it's fine. So welcome to Queensland.
Thank you, it's great to be here.
I know that you've probably toured Queensland on a number of occasions.
Yep.
What are you excited about coming back to the Sunshine State with Annie? Are you excited about doing anything, experiencing anything while you're here?
It's going to be different this time because usually, like when I was part of the Wiggles, we would tour. We wouldn't be based in one place for very long.
Yeah.
So I think Brisbane, the most we would have spent, he would have been 2 weeks max.
Yeah.
1 week, I reckon, was probably the longest. So I've never really got to see much of Brisbane, to be honest with you. So this time round, we're here for about 8 weeks, I think, including rehearsals. So that's a couple of months. So that's a pretty good amount of time for me to be able to get out and see some things.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to getting on the river, going up to Mount Cootha, seeing the botanical gardens.
Beautiful.
Might even get out of Brisbane a little bit. Yeah, so, I mean, it's such a beautiful city. You have a wonderful state. I do spend a bit of time on the Gold Coast. Having kids, they like the theme park, so I've spent a bit of time there. We have been to Brisbane once before with the family, but again I was working, so it's hard. But yeah, look, I think the worst part about it is going to be it's the middle of summer, it's going to be hot.
Yes.
Whilst that's great, it's good to have nice warm weather, I generally don't go well with the heat, unfortunately, so we'll see how I go.
Lucky QPAC is very air conditioned.
Oh, thank goodness, yeah.
for work-wise,
yes.
You're covered there. Good. As a millennial performer, I was partly raised by the Wiggles, but also partly by Annie, the DVD.
Yep.
So it's kind of like a nice pair up. to have you in the cast
good.
this year.
I'm glad you think so.
What drew you to saying yes to the world of musicals?
Well, look, it was something that I'd wanted to do, but wasn't brave enough to do. Like, I was not brave enough to audition or even reach out, and I didn't know who to reach out to. Like, I'd seen that there had been some sort of smaller scale musicals on in my local area, which you probably know, the Riverside Theatre in Parramatta.
Oh, every year we had our dance concerts there.
Right. So I think Packermin Productions used to do shows down there.
Yep.
But even that, I mean, the talent that's around, right?
Yeah.
Having never done one before, I just didn't really feel like I should try to put myself out there to do it. But late last year, it was actually through a friend of mine. He got in touch and said, look, I've heard that the producer of a big touring musical would like you to be a part of the show. And even then I thought, he can't really mean a big touring musical. He must mean something smaller. Anyway, I found out who was producing it and what the musical was and who was starring in it. And I thought, oh my God, am I really being asked to be a part of this? And it was kind of now or never. If I'm going to do it, I've got to give it a go. It's an amazing opportunity, a well-known, well-loved musical.
Yeah.
Anthony Warlow.
Like, what a name to
oh my
work
gosh.
with. Just add him to the list.
Incredible. Well, yeah, absolutely. And so if I'm ever going to give it a go, this was the time. And, I mean, getting pushed around in a wheelchair on stage ain't the hardest gig in the world, because it's hard enough for me to just try and act and do an American accent. So to give me more than that to do would have been too much.
It's great. It just leaves you your thought pattern to accents.
To focus the energy on what needs to be done. And yeah.
Fantastic. Has it been a natural switch from musician type performing when you're solo or with the Wiggles to theatre performing, which is a little bit different?
It's quite different, yeah. There's a lot of similarities, but there's quite a lot of differences, and I've enjoyed that about it. I think if it was something that you kind of feel too safe going, or too confident going into, too cocky, I think that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because last musical that I did was Grease in 1984, I think, in high school.
Oh, 84.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, don't go there. Some of us are old. But I think that was the last musical I did, and I had a very small role in that. So for my first musical role, this is something that is, after having done 16, 17 years of the Wiggles, there's a lot to learn. And again, having such a talented cast to learn from, what better environment to be able to do that in? And I've really enjoyed that challenge. And every performance, it's still a challenge, because you can't...
That.
I don't know who it was in the cast. Somebody said, a lot of people say you're only as good as your last performance, but that's not true. You're only as good as your next one. And that is so true. I wish I could remember who it was to give them credit for that.
They'll tell you.
After they see this, they'll go,
tell you, yeah.
Greg, how could you have forgotten that it was me?
It was me. You can send us their name, we'll make sure we credit them.
But it's a stroke of genius, right? Because so many people think, well, look, the last show I did was fantastic. I'll be right.
Yeah.
You may not be. Things can go wrong.
Such a fickle industry.
And if it catches you off guard and it changes your performance, it may not be as good as your last one. So your next one has to always be good.
I like that. What has surprised you most about this tour so far?
Ooh, gosh. What has surprised me, to be honest with you, how welcoming and supportive the cast have been. I really didn't know what to expect.
Oh, we love theatre people.
Yeah, and when I first met with John Frost, he said, it's like a big family. And it is. Now look, I don't spend a lot of time with the cast, and particularly in Melbourne, it's so funny, my dressing room is down in the basement level. Everybody else is up on all these other levels.
Because you've got so much time to get up the stairs by the time you're on stage.
And anyway, if you haven't seen Annie, I'm only in Act 2. So from the 1 hour call before come and see Act 2, it's worth it. So from the end of warm up till Act 2, I'm down in my dressing room on my own, and I don't see the other cast. They're all working hard, doing what they should be doing. But when I do see them, they're all so friendly, so supportive. So it's such a warm atmosphere to be a part of. And I guess that has surprised me because, you know, with the Wiggles, we were like a family, but because the Four Wiggles created it, we were friends to begin with. We had other people come and go, and we'd always sort of welcome into the thing. But I thought that was kind of unique to the Wiggles. I didn't realise that theatre was like that. So it did surprise me, and it just blows me away how down to earth everybody is, and I've just loved it.
Found it to be a very open environment. They're quite welcome
Yeah.
to like, show you new things.
And
teach
I
you
haven't come
things.
across any egos yet.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I hope
good.
they don't think that I'm the one. Maybe that's the thing.
No,
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's so many people in that like cast that were like, oh my gosh, it's Greg. It's Greg.
Well, it's just great, and I've loved it. I've really enjoyed learning from everybody. It's been such a great experience.
I love that. My next one is FDR is a historical figure. How has it been embodying somebody that's actually lived?
It's probably been harder than I thought it was going to be honest. And I'll tell you why. Because typically this role has been played by, how do I say this? People who are not necessarily known for being people of the theatre, right?
Yes.
And that's not to put anybody down, but what I'm saying is that I didn't want to come in and just be the person who's put on stage because he was the original Yellow Wiggle.
Yes.
We, in this show and in every musical, there are people who are such students of the art and the craft of acting and storytelling, and there's a real craft to that. And I don't want to disrespect that, so I've had to work really hard and to make sure that whilst I'm trying to channel FDR, I'm also trying to make sure that what we present on stage is engaging. So it's about knowing the limits of how far you can take the character and where you have to kind of stop. So it's been a challenge. If you have seen Annie, you'll probably know that the American accent ain't the greatest. I'm still working on it, so by the time we get to Brisbane, it might
You'll be natural
be
accent
close
by
to
then.
perfect, almost perfect maybe, but yeah, it's hard. It's hard work.
Okay. FTR is also in a wonderful group of stage characters that come on stage for a short but impactful time. Like think KG3, all of those actors. But are you wishing that you were on stage for more of the story?
Look, probably not. Probably not for my first musical. No, I think I'm on stage for enough.
It's a nice step in.
Yeah, and I was actually surprised how much time I'm on stage. I might not have many lines, but certainly in Act 2, there's quite a fair bit of time.
You're
that
present for a lot
I'm
of
present
the
there,
action.
which is great. And again, it's time, and I would say for anybody who's in a theatre production, musical or stage, like acting type environment, that's a great opportunity to watch others and learn.
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh. You've got to still be present as your character, but you can learn so much from watching other people, and yeah, it's just such a blessing to be on stage. And for me, the biggest challenge of taking on a musical was ignoring the audience. Because for years with the Wiggles, it was all about the audience.
I heard you talk about this at one of the media calls, like
Yeah.
from directing outwards and really engaging
Yes.
to realising that your world is on the stage. It was so interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And to the point where, the other night it was a matinee show in Melbourne, and you tune the audience out to a point until there's times when you can't, and you really have to pay attention to and not get distracted. The moment you get distracted from what's happening on stage is the moment that the show can fall apart, and you break that wall and you break the
Especially when
magic.
you're doing an accent as well that you already.
Yeah. So yeah, it's really fascinating because, like I said, the Wiggles was all about the audience. It was about, you are part of the show.
Yeah.
Whereas this, it's no, you're not part of the show. You are.
You're with
but
us.
yeah, you're with us. We're bringing you on the journey, and we want to hold you and take you on that journey. But it doesn't stop you from hearing the popcorn being munched, the packets of chips being opened. And
Have you ever clocked a face that you know in the audience?
you know what? It is so interesting. I've had to consciously make sure that I don't look into the audience because, in the Wiggles, we used to do that, and you'd look at people, and even if you didn't know them, you'd stop and you'd engage.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, because that would break me on stage. I would break character. So I'm so conscious of not looking out there. And most of the time I can't see anyway, because you've got the lights in your eyes. So it's not worth looking out there. But I try and keep my focus totally on stage.
It's fair. I think it's
Less distractions, the better.
Okay, yes. I have been dying to ask, as somebody who spent their life being so active on stage, is it so difficult to keep your legs still while you're in that chair?
You know what? It is. It is. And I thought about this the other night, and I hope I was going to say I'm fairly conscious of it. I think I'm not conscious, but then at times I am. Like, what I do, I have to push my legs out against the chair to keep them still.
Yep.
Because if I relax them, I think they would start to tap along to the beat of the music. So I'm consciously always pushing my legs out.
It's just such a stark difference to like the pendulum legs.
Oh my gosh.
Like
and that was another reason why when they told me what the gig was in Annie, I thought, oh my God, thank goodness I'm not going to have to do Corrie, because my knees are pretty much stuffed after years of jumping around the stage with the Wiggles.
It's active then, it's more active, I reckon, your Wiggles work, than a lot of like dancers. And you come on for like 3 minutes of a song or what? You guys are active the whole time.
It was full on, and back in the early days of the Wiggles, because we weren't dancers, we came up with stupid dance moves that weren't good for the body.
And then you had to keep going because they're law
that's
now.
right, because we'd sort of built them in. So things like the pendulum and a lot of jumping moves that we did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until a few years later, probably 96, 97, that we had a choreographer come on board who helped us actually develop some sort of more typical dance choreo.
Some better body conscious movement for you.
But we still had to incorporate some of those stupid dance moves that we'd come up with, which weren't great for the knees, and feeling it now in the 50s.
Young blokes that had knees that worked really easily then, it was fine.
Now they don't. At one point I calculated how many times a week we would jump, because my knees were were starting to hurt. It was something like 1,000 times a week or something like that. So doing 40 weeks a year, it's like 40,000 jumps a year. It's like as many times as an NBA player would jump or something like that. So it was, So over the years, towards the end of my time with the Wiggles, yes, the physical activity got a little bit less because the knees started to give way and started to ache, and
That's why you have backup dancers by that point. You're like,
Correct.
look at them, everybody!
Correct.
Yay!
We weren't so stupid after all.
I love that. We touched on this before, but I'm a theatre photographer who loves to shoot backstage. What's your favourite backstage moments besides your incredible content creation that you've been churning out recently?
Don't know about that. Backstage, well, look, a lot of backstage, I spend so much time in my dressing room. Yeah, and it's on my own.
Yeah.
And it's funny because some people will come and visit me in my dressing room and they'll say, oh, we never see you. It's like, I just thought that, and I don't know, but I thought that once we finish warm-up, they all go off and they get made up, they get into, and because I'm not on until Act 2, I'm just down in my dressing room chilling and waiting for my moment. But they said, no, come and visit us, come and see what's going on. So again, I've got to venture out of my safe comfort zone there and go and see what's happening up on level 2 and level 1.
You do. It's all the action right before you get to the wings. It's all where the busyness happens.
Right, okay.
So go off, and especially in QPAC, you'll find that...
Well, see, this will be different because all the dressing rooms are on the one level, I believe.
QPAC is built like a maze, so it's got 3 different theatres. I'm going completely off topic now, it's fine. 3 different theatres, and they're all connected by the hallways around the back.
Right.
So whatever other show is on at the time, you'll run into people in the green room.
Oh, cool.
The green room's like for everybody, for all of the shows.
Okay.
So the people you run into in the green room is fantastic. I went for a job once and Rhonda Birch walked past and I was like, oh, she's fantastic.
Wow.
So just, it's a maze, and that's I think what's unique about QPAC is that it's all interconnected with those walkways around the back. It'll be a lovely social.
Well, that'll be good
for you,
because like in Sydney and in Melbourne, where the shows have been so far, I've been in the basement level with the dressing room. Everybody else in Sydney wasn't so bad. I'd bump into the other cast members on the stairwells and things like that, but Melbourne, I honestly don't see them. I'm on one side of the building, they're all over here and up on different levels. And with having sore knees, going up and down those stairs ain't so
QPAC
much
will be
fun.
a dream for
Oh,
you.
I can't wait. That'll be awesome. And it's air conditioned.
And it's air conditioned. Yay! I mean, you don't need air conditioning in Melbourne. It's so cold anyway.
I know.
If we take a step back to the days of touring with the Wiggles, did you ever dream that your career would pivot so much and lead you to theatre?
No, I guess I didn't dream. I might have wondered, if it ever might.
Yeah.
Because another thing of inspiration, two moments of inspiration. Cameron Daddo playing Captain Von Trapp in The Sound of Music in, God, don't know what year that was. But, a bit of a long story cut short, I'm related by marriage to the Daddo family.
Okay.
And so I had met Cameron a number of years
in
back.
my notes,
No,
just-
probably not a lot of people know, and the Daddos probably don't want that to be known. But anyway,
out and post, it's fine.
so I know Cameron through that connection, and we met Cameron years ago in LA when he brought his kids along to the show. So when I saw him in The Sound of Music, I thought, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be wonderful to be on stage? Then I saw David Hobson, who I'd met at many carols in the Domain.
Worked with David Hobson before.
Amazing guy,
man.
lovely guy, beautiful voice. Saw him in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah.
And again, thought, oh my gosh, the talent of these people, I only dreamed that I could do that. So, yeah, I had the notion that it would be nice to be able to do this one day. And I never really thought it could be a reality, but I guess thankfully, for the sake of cameo roles, I'm able to do it. So I'm very grateful.
So good. What is a career moment that you are the most proud of?
Wow. Look, I think just in general, to have been a part of the Wiggles for so long was something that I'm incredibly proud of, because it's meant so much to so many people. Like, people that grew up watching the Wiggles will have different connections for different reasons. And I think one of the big things that we used to do that we never really used to talk about a lot, we used to go to hospitals. So if we were in town, we'd go to a hospital, do a hospital visit and see, sick and terminally ill children.
Yeah.
And to be able to do that, and I'll never forget, there was a time that we went to see a child in hospital, and we went into the room and sang a song and what have you, and the child smiled, and we left the room and the doctor said, guys, you know what, it's been weeks since I've seen that child smile. And because we only see a snapshot of their time in hospital, we don't realise, we don't understand the depth and the impact that it has on the child and their family, and the doctors and the nurses that are around them all the time. And to see the look on this doctor's face, reporting about that this child, hadn't smiled for weeks. It just means so much that you can do something that takes so little of your time and so little energy, but can have such an impact on somebody's world. It's just, you can't put words or value to that, really.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer. My goodness. I put up a question box on my Instagram today so that my community could submit questions for you.
Yep.
However, half of them replied, oh my gosh, I love him so much. It's just pure love fest. And the
Right.
other half, their question was, what is your favourite performance or pinch me moment?
Ooh.
It can either be with any a solo act or within the Wiggles.
Well, look, I mean, I've had so many. And it's funny, with the Wiggles, we used to have so many of those pinch me moments that they'd be incremental. Like we'd do, because we never planned for it to be what it became. So each step of the journey was a pinch me moment. Like we had so many of them that you kind of not forget about them, but they might have been superseded. And it's funny, I was talking to somebody this morning about playing at Madison Square Garden in New York. Now, we didn't play the arena. A lot of people don't understand that, but there's a theatre at Madison Square Garden, holds about 6,000 people, so it's not a small
That's
venue.
nothing, yeah.
The arena holds 20,000, but the theatre holds 6, and we sold that out 13 times in a week.
That's
So
amazing.
that's still quite impressive, and to see your name up on the marquee at MSG
And that's
there.
not even like in your, that's another country as well.
Yeah, so that's a pinch me moment, right?
100%.
And I came across the photo somewhere the other day of us, the four of us, standing outside under the marquee, the Wiggles, Madison Square Garden, things like that. Then, Robert De Niro coming to the show, Jerry Seinfeld,
so fun.
Mick Fleetwood from Fleetwood Mac, just so many of these people that you idolise, growing up listening to their music or watching them on TV, and it's things that when you think back about it, you think, God, did that even really happen? Like, was that real?
You're in their homes.
Yeah, and
Like,
that's the funny thing, right?
Kids are watching you going, oh my goodness, like
they're
the
just
Wiggles.
people. They're just people like everybody else, and that's the funny thing, that you know it yourself, right? You're just a normal person. Other people don't see you that way because they've got a connection through what they know you as.
Yeah.
And it's the same when you're backstage chatting with Seinfeld or De Niro or all these people. It's like, you know what? They're just people too. We're all the same.
Oh my gosh, it's brilliant. We are a podcast that's trying to support performers and teach them about different elements of the world of performance.
Mm-hmm.
In reading Anthony's book and watching the documentary a few years ago that you guys put together, I was very impressed with your matching outfits to the... So like Murray had the red couch with a red shirt and
Yeah, very
very
well done. Yes.
I was very struck with the amount of work that you guys did, like boots on the ground work, trying to figure out how to book shows, how to make a video, how to secure a TV gig, etc., etc. Are there any tips or stories that you'd like to bless our little friends with from that time, or some advice about seeking knowledge?
Well, look, I think in terms of seeking knowledge, now is what an age we're in, right? I mean, to have access to tools like podcasts, and there's just so much available. So immerse yourself in it, and do it because you love it, right? That's the biggest thing that I would say. Don't do it because you want fame or fortune or whatever. You've got to do things for the right reason, because if you don't, it ain't going to work.
No.
You've got to be authentic.
Yeah.
So if you love the performing arts, stick at it, and don't get disheartened if you're still working a 9-to-5 job and doing gigs on a weekend or of a night time. If that's what you love doing, if you love performing, just do it, because you never know who's going to be in the audience. You never know who's going to hear about you. You never know what's around the corner. So stick with it. Don't give up. And I never thought that I would be an entertainer. I wanted to be, and I thought it wasn't going to happen because, and funnily enough, I still don't think I have the talent that, and I know I don't have the talent that some people have, right? But it doesn't always come down to talent, unfortunately. You can be the most talented person in the world, but unless you're in the right place at the right time, with the right person in the room, you may not get discovered. So that's why you've got to stick with it. Because if you've got the talent, you'll get noticed. But if you give up, you won't be noticed, right? So stick with it. Do it because you love it, and do it because it's your world, it's your love. But you might have to do other things at the same time, but don't let that discourage you.
I love that. Thank you.
And with the Wiggles, we never knew, right? So for the first 2 years of the Wiggles, Murray and Anthony were out teaching they were
I rewatched the
preschool
documentary
teachers, right?
the other day in preparation.
Yeah.
And I was struck by that story where you're like, guys, if we're going to do this, you've got to quit your jobs.
Correct.
And I was like, that's lightning in a bottle.
So we were, I was still at university studying, but they were teaching and they were doing the Wiggles on the side. It was a part-time gig. There's a lesson in that for everyone, right? Your part-time gig could become your dream gig. You just never know.
Yeah, so true. Now stepping into a new medium of theatre, has there been any advice that you've been given? Oh, we've already covered this. Or something you've experienced that might benefit performers looking at making a career? We did talk about your unnamed, unremembered friend giving you the advice.
That bit of advice. Oh, look, there's been plenty of other bits of great advice too.
Yeah. You have talked about Anthony Warlow.
Oh, gosh.
You guys seem to have become friends. I'm loving this.
Oh, look, I wouldn't like to stretch the friendship on behalf of Mr. Warlow.
Good colleagues.
Good acquaintances. But see, Anthony and I are kind of a similar vintage.
Yeah.
He's a little bit older. I'm not going to say how much older, but a little bit older. But we're very similar age, and we have a very similar sense of humour.
Fantastic.
And he cracks me up. Oh, God, he has so many gags. And I just love it. Every day he'll come up with a new joke. It's just so good. But he's, you know, he is, I said this to somebody before, I don't even know if Anthony Warlow knows how good he is.
Okay.
I'd like to think that he does. But even then, if he thinks he's good, I don't think he thinks he's as good as he is. His voice, and I'm getting teary thinking about it, because, you know, I get to listen to him sing 8 times a week. And if you go and you watch, it's called The Main Event. It's Anthony and John Farnham and Olivia Newton-John.
I was there in the audience.
Oh my God, I wasn't. I wanted to go at the time, but, you know, I think we were in the Wiggles back then, and couldn't get to everything, but oh, what voices, the three of them singing together.
Stunning.
But you listen to Anthony sing in that performance, and then you come along and you see him singing in Annie, and, you know, the craftsmanship that goes into his performances, no matter what it is, I'm just in awe. And it's taught me a lot about performing, and I think it really does go to that saying that you're only as good as your next performance. You can't rest on your laurels. You can't think, oh gosh, you know, gee, that show was great, I just did, and, you know, tomorrow nights will be just as good. You can't go into it like that. You've got to make it as good. You can't just think that it's going to be as good, because it might not be. You've got to make it good. And I think that's what I see in Anthony, that, you know, he talks about a couple of songs in Annie and some of the notes that he's got to hit. And I think, man, you hit them so easily.
I'm not seeing that struggle anywhere. No.
And you know why? Because it's not that it's hard for him. It's because he takes it so seriously, and he cares.
Yeah.
And the care that he has for the audience, and the fact that they're paying, the respect that he has for the audience, I just admire that so much.
Wonderful. He's wonderful.
And I think that's the thing, right? That's the secret to being a good performer. It's not about you, it's about the audience. The moment you make it about yourself, I think you lose the audience. So I think that's another bit of advice for people. If you're in this for your sake, no.
Yeah, no.
You're doing it for the audience. They're the ones who pay to come and see a show. They may not be coming to see you specifically, right? They're coming to see a show and have a good time. They want a good time. It's not about you. It's about them. They're your boss. They pay the wages.
So I love coming to a show and it's an understudy night.
Right.
I love being surprised by the talent that comes out of these swings and understudies.
Incredible. It's amazing.
There's a girl I used to study with at dance school that was a super swing in 6. And she nailed all 6 of those roles, and they are such different songs, different types, whatever. And she's fantastic, and she does all of them.
That's another kettle of fish in those swings. I mean, gee, that's something
they're superhuman.
I never knew about that. I mean, we had understudies in the Wiggles, and we'd have people that would do certain things. But I think because the Wiggles was a little bit more flexible and you could improvise a bit, it's not the same as understudying in a musical.
Having to hit that role.
But and that's the other thing too, to hear Anthony and Amanda, who performed on Broadway, talk about how sharp you have to be as a swing on Broadway. Like, oh my gosh.
I can't imagine.
I couldn't, I mean.
They're coming in like halfway through songs sometimes. Like, okay, you need to quickly get changed and go.
But they've got to deliver the same performance as that performer does every night. Can't change it. One bit.
Amazing. Wild, truly. Swings are like, superhumans.
Yeah,
like actual heroes.
Yep. For sure.
All right, so we've gotten to a bit that I just call bonus Brit bits. It's just where I just ask things that really interest me.
I like the alliteration, by the way, the
bonus
bonus Brit bits. Yeah, beautiful. Yep.
So the first one I'm going to say is that something I feel like I've learnt from you, listening to your Wiggles songs and whatever, growing up.
How to make fruit salad?
Well, look, yes, and cold spaghetti.
Yeah, good.
But you have such a clarity to your voice and a warm tone. and it's beautiful, and it's like very easily understood. So the emotion you emote in your song, in your voice, and the way you speak words without being overpronounced, and I think it's part of the ethos of the Wiggles, right? So you're not being patronising, but you're being clear. Yep.
Yeah.
Is that something that you learnt, or is that something that's just, this is the way your voice tonally has always been, and it's just lent itself really well?
I think it's that.
Yeah.
Like I said, right, like I'm not the most talented person at all. I was in the right place at the right time. So in high school, I kind of fell into singing, and my music teacher suggested that I have singing lessons. And I was very lucky that I had a great singing teacher who was about diction. And that was something that I always remembered, because how many times do you hear a song and you don't know what the lyrics actually are?
So they've got subjects like I've lost it all. They do it in trivia.
So, you know, there's no point singing a song if people can't understand what you're saying, right? So diction to me was always important. And I think that when Anthony Field heard me sing, and he's always said that he knew that I had the right voice for early childhood music, which was lucky for me, right? Because I don't have a musical voice, I don't have a rock voice, I don't have many other things. So luckily for me, that little door opened, and it was my niche, and I was fortunate to be able to make a career out of that. And fortunately, people felt the same way as Anthony did, because I don't hear it. I don't hear my voice that same way, particularly now. Like, I'm croaky as anything at the moment. But yeah, look, I love singing. I love performing. So I'm just grateful that some people are happy to watch me do that.
Fair enough. My second one is, how did you go about piecing together your Elvis collection? How did it start, and how did you search for items? How did you decide what to collect?
Well, it started in 2003. I was on the Gold Coast, actually walking past just a memorabilia store, and went inside to have a look, and I saw up the back on the wall was a cheque that was signed by Elvis, and it was framed with a picture of Elvis and a concert ticket. And I purchased that and had that at home for a number of years, and then, maybe a year or so. Then I was just on eBay and came across a pair of boots that used to belong to Elvis. And I thought, what? You can actually own things that Elvis used to wear and owned? And that just opened up the sort of rabbit hole that I went down then. And from that, the guy who was selling those boots on eBay was a kind of a well-known collector of Elvis memorabilia and artifacts. So I struck up a relationship with him, and then got introduced to other people, and then through auctions and a whole lot of other things. And yeah, just kind of went down this weird path of collecting things that Elvis had owned or were connected to his career. So I ended up setting up a museum in New South Wales in a town called Parkes, where they have the Elvis Festival every year. And that's been there now for 17 years now, I think.
Wow.
The museum's been there. And yeah, look, I enjoy that because it tells a story of Elvis's life, and a lot of people in Australia can't get to Graceland to go and see, where he lived, and I was fortunate to go there. And I think that's what it was for me when I went and saw things that Elvis touched and sat in or whatever. I mean, Graceland was his home. It's a museum now.
History, yeah.
But it was his home, and he used to dine in the dining room or sit in the lounge room, and quite incredible. So to be able to have things and bring to Australia, clothing, documents that he signed, or pieces of furniture that he sat on, to give people that opportunity, I think, is a wonderful thing. Yeah, it's access to a story and a person that is such an icon in so many people's worlds.
Love that. I'm a big Elvis fan. My aunts were huge Elvis fans, and they're the people who had told me about your collection.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that Wiggle, he's collected a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, yeah, look,
interesting.
I collected a lot of stuff, and it was a large collection. I've sold a lot of stuff off now. I used to have two museums. I had one up on the Gold Coast for a while. I closed that down 5 years ago after I had a cardiac arrest, and so I've just got the Parkes one now. So yeah.
Speaking of Castle Hill, I think at one point we must have worked on the same street. It's a little cul-de-sac cul-de-sac, little loop road in Castle Hill. And there was a little cafe on the corner, and I would often see you there and just go, oh my gosh, it's Greg. Oh my gosh, it's Greg.
Oh,
But there was a little kid that, I think it's Cahill Avenue, Cahill, or whatever. Anyway, it was in Castle Hill.
Yeah.
And there was this little kid, and he's like tugging on his dad, and he's trying to tell him that it's you. And you just look around, you smile, and you just like did this on the way past as you were walking. And I was like, that is so classy. Like, do you notice if people are like getting nervous about maybe approaching
sometimes,
you?
yeah. Sometimes not.
Yeah.
And look, I'm usually okay if people. I'd much rather people come up and say hello than sort of sit there and stare or point or whatever. Honestly, I would much rather people come up and say hello and ask for a photograph or whatever it is. It's usually no trouble. I thought about this the other day, and I think I've only ever declined a photo once.
Yeah.
I can't remember what. I think I was in a hurry to get somewhere or something. But yeah, generally people are quite okay, you know, and I've got no issue with it. But yeah.
Such a classy little, like, just, hey buddy, like, I see you, and I know you know who I am.
The times that I do get uncomfortable is when people notice that I'm there, and then they're kind of looking up on their phone to see if it is, and they're kind of looking over, and you know, I just come up and ask me, just say, hey, were you in the Wiggles? It's like, yeah,
no,
okay,
man,
I
I
was.
just look like that guy. Like,
yeah. Sometimes people don't believe you. They go, no, you're not. It's like, yeah.
You asked.
That's right.
I must look like me if you asked.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for your time. That's
Pleasure.
all my questions.
Thank
Unless
you.
there's something else that you want to chat about.
Talk about the weather. Or
You did it. You did a
it.
whole interview, and you did it on your own without any safety blanket.
With lots of sweat and lots of nerves. Look, I hope it was a good interview for you guys to listen to. He's so wonderful and just warm and kind and giving. And I was like, I could just talk to you. I think when we finished, I was like, I said, I think that's all I've got for you. And he's like, oh, we could just chat for ages. And I was like, I really could. Let's be best friends. So yeah, go see him in Annie.
Yeah.
I have full respect. He talks about, you just heard, I have full respect for him. He really has immersed himself in the theatre industry and just has learnt as much as he could. And I just like...
Which we love.
Big thumbs up. Yes, we love
We
this.
love learning.
We love learning.
So if you would like to see Annie the Musical when it's here in Brisbane, again, it is here from the 27th of December at the Lyric Theatre at QPAC. Tickets start from $70
Head
with
to Q-Tix.
a $7.50 booking fee. Head to Q-Tix and you'll get your tickets.
It's at the Lyric, which is a pretty good one.
It's a great theatre.
We love the Lyric.
We do love the Lyric. And if you would like to see us potentially go to Annie, because that is where all of our adventures will be, it'll be on social media.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed Greg.
Yeah.
And go give him a follow. I think his handle is at Greg Page Yellow Wiggle. There might be some full stops in there. I don't think it will be hard to just go Greg Page and it will come up.
We'll put it in the show notes.
We'll
And
put it
if
in the show
you would
notes.
like to follow us while you're there,
Yes.
you can find us on takenotes.pod on both Instagram and TikTok, or you can shoot us an email at takenotespod.com.
Yes,
So
it's
many
still
dots
fresh.
in other
It's still
places.
fresh.
Because we would love to hear about what you would like to listen to.
Yeah, who
on
do you want
this
us to talk
podcast.
to? What do you want to learn about?
Yeah.
And anytime we have a special guest, we'll let you know and you can submit some questions.
Yeah, it's going to be great. If you haven't already signed on to the Patreon, there is early access to content and other resources on there. So all of the information is, back in the show notes. And I'm still a little bit awestruck at the fact that you got to interview Greg Page. So I'm just going to...
I'm so sad you went there. The moment that he stood up from the table and like we walked through the doors, I was like, oh my God, it's Greg. Amazing.
So good. Oh my goodness. Well, hopefully episode 3 is going to be just as exciting.
We'll let you know very, very soon.
Yeah, we'll see you next month.
See you next month, guys.
Bye.